icons of British entertainment.
He was so gorgeous, he still is.
She makes it look effortless.
He's an extremely versatile actor.
Ben's kind of unstoppable.
With a story to tell.
I did get quite carried away with it all.
I've been lucky, yes, and I worked hard.
I never had any ambitions to be a stand-up.
And we begin with Roger Moore.
He's funny, he's handsome, and he's very British.
The Best of British starts Friday, 22nd of October on BBC One.
Cultures collide in the first of our movies tonight on BBC One. Daniel Day-Lewis is the last of the Mohicans in half an hour. First on BBC One, the votes are in. The nation's favourite song lyric has been chosen.
Thank you. No, thank you. No, please. Now, good evening, welcome. Tonight, we're here to find out what you, the nation, have voted for as your favourite song lyric.
We're back, as usual, as part of National Poetry Week. Our polls are now closed, the votes are being counted, and we'll be bringing you the results in less than half an hour.
So naturally, as you can tell, there's a lot of tension here in the studio tonight. I personally am very tense, very excited indeed, and I know who wins.
Some of you may be asking, why song lyrics? Well, in the words of Sami Khan, writer of classics like Come Fly With Me and Call Me Irresponsible, a poem is meant for the eye, a lyric is meant for the ear, but both reach the mind and touch the heart.
Whereas Don McLean, when asked what the lyrics of American Pie meant, replied that they meant he never had to work again.
And let's face it, very few poets have been able to say that after one poem. But it's not always elaborate wordplay that stays in our minds.
Pop, as opposed to poetry, is full of sha-na-nas, doo-wah diddies, and ooh-lang ooh-langs. Sometimes it's the simple stuff that strikes a chord.
Well, Bebopalula, she's my baby.
Bebopalula, I don't mean maybe.
Bebopalula, she's my baby doll, my baby doll, my baby doll.
Well now, she's the woman that's got that beat. She's the woman with the flying feet.
She's the woman that walks around the store. She's the woman that yells, more, 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 more.
Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, I don't mean maybe.
Bebopalula, she's my baby doll, my baby doll, my baby doll.
Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, I don't mean maybe. Bebopalula, she's my baby. Bebopalula, I don't mean maybe. Bebopalula, she's my baby doll.
There we are. Bebopalula, written and sung by Gene Vincent, who unfortunately managed to die before anyone could ask him what the hell it meant.
Thank you, Griff. In a short time, we'll be finding out which kind of lyric the nation prefers. We'll be naming the top 10 winners in reverse order, culminating, of course, with the announcement of our number one, which will no doubt be met by a nationwide groan of disagreement.
It's very hard to think of your favourite lyric. There are so many excellent words out there flying around. A lot of them are just blunt instruments that we beat one another over the head with.
My favourite song lyric comes from Billy Bragg and Sexuality. It was released around the time of AIDS awareness when there were government health warnings on TV featuring icebergs for some strange reason. And you kind of thought, I mustn't have sex on top of an iceberg or else I'll die. Billy Bragg just kind of brings it all back down to earth with a bit of wit as well. So my lyric would be, safe sex doesn't mean no sex, it just means use your imagination.
Yeah, my choice of lyric is She by Charles Aznavour, English lyric by Herbert Kretzmer, a real work of art in translation. She may be the face I can't forget, a trace of pleasure or regret.
I have discussed this one with Van Morrison, and we're agreed that this is poetry. It's by Big Joe Turner, and he would sing this from behind the bar while Pete Johnson would play the piano in this bar.
My favourite song is I Heard It Through the Grapevine, because it tells you straight away, I bet you're wondering how I knew.
You're so beautiful, you gotta die someday. You're so beautiful, but you gotta die someday. a little loving before you pass away.
Almost inevitably, it's the undertones, teenage kicks. And when I die, my wife already knows that I want to have inscribed on my tombstone the words, teenage dreams, so hard to beat.
This is one of my favourites. It's Stereophonics, and it's in the song I Won't Believe Your Radio. Now, it's really silly, so that's probably why I like it, because I'm really silly. And it's, if I had myself a flying giraffe, you'd have one in a box with a window. I think so it is. If I had myself a flying giraffe, you'd have one in a box with a window. I'm mad at them lyrics, so they're cool.
Good. Now, as our poll will, I hope, demonstrate, one measure of a good song is its enduring popularity. This song has certainly passed the test. The lyricist was called John Newton, and he died in 1807. This is what he left behind, sung for us 200 years later by Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now can see. It was grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace that fear relieved. How precious did that grace appear. How fast believed. Nearer to thee, nearer my God to thee, nearer to thee, and God it be across. So by my was to be, so by my was to be, nearer to thee, nearer my God to thee. Nearer to thee, nearer my God to thee, nearer to thee. Sugar-dum, do-do-dum, do-do-dum, sugar-dum, do-do-dum, do-do-dum, sugar-dum, do-do-do. Praise His holy name. Sugar-dum, sugar-dum, do-do-dum, do-do-dum, sugar-dum, do-do-dum, sugar-dum, sugar-dum, do-do-do. Praise His name. Amazing grace. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
There we are, the timeless Amazing Grace, sung by Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Those of you who think pop music was invented in the 20th century may be surprised to learn that the first lyric to become a worldwide hit was actually written in 1892 by Charles K. Harris. It was a catchy little number, I'm sure you'll agree, Griff, that went like this.
After the ball is over, after the break of morn, after the dancers leaving, after the stars have gone, many a heart is aching, if you could read them all, many the hopes that have vanished after the ball.
I think so. I think so.
Well, we may not have the Bulls anymore, but we can still have the Hangovers. 100 years later, Morrissey of the Smiths wrote Still Ill, read for us here by John Hegley.
I decree today that life is simply taking and not giving. England is mine, and it owes me a living. Ask me why, and I'll spit in your eye. Ask me why, and I'll spit in your eye. But we cannot cling to the old dreams anymore. No, we cannot cling to those dreams. Does the body rule the mind, or does the mind rule the body? I don't know. Ask me why and I'll die. Ask me why and I'll die. And if you must go to work tomorrow, well, if I were you, I wouldn't bother. But there are brighter sides to life, and I should know because I've seen them, but not very often. Under the iron bridge we kissed, and although I ended up with sore lips, it just wasn't like the old days anymore. No, it wasn't like those days. Am I still ill?
Now, of course, the cognoscenti of song, the train spotters of musical theatre, you know the sort of people, Ned Sherry, will tell you that the best lyrics were written during a golden age which began in the 1930s and continued into the late 50s.
Writers like Sammy Cahn, Cole Porter, Jerome Kern and Hoagie Carmichael produced songs of legendary wit and elegance in that mythical street called Tin Pan Alley. Here's one of their racier numbers, Cole Porter's Let's Do It, read by Simon Munnery.
Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. In Spain, the best upper sets do it. Lithuanians and Lats do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam do it, not to mention the Finns. Folks in Siam do it, think of Siamese twins. Some Argentines without means do it. People say in Boston even beans do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love.
With the coming of rock and roll, songwriters began aiming not so much at the head, but somewhere lower down the body.
And where exactly would that be, Greg?
The gut, Mariella. Visceral images were in, arcane references to the Louvre or bars in far Bombay were out. And there was a certain brutal minimalism in the air. Buddy Holly's Peggy Sue consisted of 15 short lines in which her name was repeated 18 times.
Hence the reason it's one of the few song lyrics that I can remember. Song lyrics changed and lyric writers changed with them. 63-year-old Max Friedman, having previously written the Blue Danube Waltz, now took a deep breath and wrote Rock Around the Clock.
What writers like Mr. Friedman realise, and what our poll may well establish tonight, is that when it comes to lyrics, nobody likes a smart-ass.
But everybody loves a lover, which is probably why 99.9% of all song lyrics seem to be an extended gasp of passion.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me long, take me to your heart, for it's there that I belong and will never part.
we are. Eddie Reader there. What a treat. And there was a song with an interesting history. In 1956, inspired by the success of The Yellow Rose of Texas, Hollywood lyric writer Ken Darby updated another Civil War song and changed the original lyrics, which had been "Orally, orally, made of golden hair," to "Love Me Tender," which was a big hit for Elvis Presley.
No doubt our results tonight will show the popularity of the love song. But there are other songs of high emotion. Here's one of astonishing power, reflecting a truly dark night of the human soul.
Southern trees bear strange fruit. Blood on the leaves and blood on the root. Black bodies swinging on the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree. Pastoral scene of the gallows south. The bulging eyes and the twisted mouth. Scent of magnolia sweet and fresh. Then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is the fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter crop.
Dana Bryant reading Strange Fruit, written by the American poet Louis Allen, and first performed in 1939 by the legendary Billie Holiday. At the time, the words aroused such strong emotions that she was attacked in her dressing room after singing it.
It's not possible, of course, to talk about protest songs without mentioning Bob Dylan, though I wouldn't want to make the same mistake as Culture Minister Chris Smith and mention his name in the same breath as Keats. Apparently, Keats fans were angry, but Dylan fans were absolutely furious.
Meanwhile, for all those of you who voted in our poll for Bob Dylan and those who voted for Billy Bragg, here's Billy Bragg with The Times They Are A-Changing.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accepted that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. What the times they are a-changing. Come writers and critics who prophesy with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. And there's no telling who that it's naming. Now the loser now will be later to win, but the times they are a-changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. The battle outside raging will soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. But at times they are a-changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Get out of the new one if you can't lend a hand. But at times they are a-changing. the line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly changing, and the first one now will later be last. For the times they are a-changing. For the times they are a-changing.
The times they're changing, written during a rare optimistic moment for Bob Dylan there. I don't think I'm giving anything away, though, when I say that another person very popular with our voters was Bob Marley. His famous song, No Woman, No Cry, is actually credited to one Vincent Ford. But the truth is, we discovered that Marley actually wrote it himself and gave the credit to Vincent as a present. Tonight, it's read for us by Benjamin Zephaniah.
No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. 'Cause I remember when we used to sit in a government yard in Trench Town, observing the hypocrites as they would mingle with the good people that we meet. Good friends we have, or good friends we have lost along the way. In this bright future, you can't forget your past, so dry your tears, I say. And no woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Hey, little darling, don't shed no tears. No woman, no cry. 'Cause I remember when we used to sit in a government yard in Trench Town, and Georgie would make the firelight, a log of wood burning through the night. And we would cook cornmeal porridge, of which I'd share with you. My feet is my only carriage. I know I've got to push on through, but while I'm gone, everything's gonna be all right. Everything is going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. So woman, no cry. Oh no, don't shed no tears. Oh no, woman, no woman, no cry.
Dylan and his imitators set off a trend, blessedly short-lived, but still popular with the student fraternity, I believe, for lyrics which need to be discussed at great length to be understood. Thankfully, things have moved on.
Here's the 90s version of the singer-songwriter troubadour Jarvis Cocker and Common People.
Are you sure you want to live like common people? You want to see whatever common people see? Want to sleep with common people? You want to sleep with common people like me? But she didn't understand. And she just smiled and held my hand. I went to flagship over shop. I cut your hair and get a job. I smoke some facts and play some pool. Pretend you never went to school. Still you'll never get it right. It's when you're laid in bed at night, watching roaches climb the wall. If you called your dad, he could stop it. Oh yeah, you'll never live like common people. You'll never do whatever common people do. Never fail like common people. You'll never watch your lives slide out of view. And then dance and drink and stew. Because there's nothing else to do.
Now, at the moment, you've all been waiting for the nation's favourite song lyrics. And as we read the top 10, you may notice some surprising absentees.
No Leonard Cohen, for instance. Ah, yes, no Tim Rice and no Bernie Taupin, which means I lost money on Candle in the Wind.
Not very good, we've got plenty of it. The lyrics that have done best are not obscure and not loaded with political meaning. Instead, they tend to be those that capture, in a few words, one particular emotional moment.
For example, one viewer mentioned that his favourite single lyric of all time comes from the Beatles' Baby You Can Drive My Car. It is, he told us, the line that goes, beep, 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 beep. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Jeremy Clarkson. Now, let's begin the results with the lyric voted the nation's most popular. At number 10, Stardust by Hoagy Carmichael.
At number 9, Nights in White Satin by Justin Hayward.
At number 8, Sit Down by James.
At number 7, Beware of the Flowers by John Otway.
At number 6, Yesterday by Paul McCartney.
At number 5, Millennium by Robbie Williams.
At number 4, I Am the Walrus by John Lennon.
And now, the top 3. At number 3, Queen, with a song that was introduced to a whole new generation of fans with the movie Wayne's World. Freddie Mercury's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro.
I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from this monstrosity.
Mariella.
At number 2, it's the second entry for Robbie Williams, who had a total of 4 songs in our top 20. Not bad for a guy who only went solo in 1996. It is, of course, Angels.
And down the waterfall, wherever it may take me, I know that life won't break me. When I come to call, she won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead.
And finally, to the number 1 spot, the song you voted as the nation's favourite song lyric, it's Imagine by John Lennon. Whoa!
Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, or brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
And that, I'm afraid, is it for this year. You now know the nation's favourite song lyric. What you don't know is the answer to the eternal chicken and egg question concerning songs. Which comes first, the lyric or the music?
For the answer, we turn once again to Sammy Khan. What comes first, he told an inquirer, is the phone call asking you to write the song.
Good night.
Good night.
Enter the 2000 Today competition on BBC Online and you could win the chance to celebrate your New Year's Eve at an exclusive music concert in Edinburgh Castle. Visit BBC Online at www.bbc.co.uk/millennium.
I don't know a single journalist worth their salt who hasn't been upset by violence.
I get scared all the time, and the more I've done it, the more I get scared.
We're just not in the business of throwing nastiness in the faces of people merely for impact.
The joy of political reporting is it doesn't involve real danger. People's careers come crashing down, but nobody actually gets killed.
Wars are seedy, dirty, nasty things, but they have to be covered as much as anything else does.
I'm amazed by the amount of good human nature that exists in dreadful circumstances.
There's always somebody who makes you realise that whatever problems that we've got personally, their problems are much worse and they're getting over them.
Oscar-winning film adventure now on BBC One, high adrenaline, love and loyalty as Daniel Day-Lewis stars in The Last of the Mohicans.